my name's Miriam Frank. I am really excited to start this channel. I'm really hoping that I can help some people out who are wanting to travel, study, or work in China. First, I'll give you a little bit of my background. I got my bachelor's from Beijing Language and Culture University. I was there for 4 years, and I made various friendships with Chinese people. And while I was there, I was able to obtain a really high proficiency in the language, helping me then have that first-hand experience of the culture, and I could use my language proficiency skills to understand the culture even better. And now I'm back in the US, and I have my master's from Indiana University in Chinese pedagogy. So while I'm here, I've been able to teach Chinese to undergrads and also incorporate the culture that I learned in China to my students. So now I have the ability of both speaking Chinese and also teaching the language. Just want to talk about a little bit of some things that were shocking to me while I was in China. I have 3 things, and hopefully as I continue to make more videos on this channel, you will understand the reasons why these are shocking and how you might understand them better when you're in China. So one of them is that people do stare at you a lot, but I don't want you to think that that is necessarily negative. They stare at you because maybe you look a little bit different from the natives in China, but that's not a bad thing. You might feel a little bit out of sorts in the sense of not a part of the community there. So that's one thing that might be shocking, and that might happen on the subway, just in the streets, or anywhere. But you'll get used to it and find it not as shocking once you're there for some time. The other thing is that people tend to be very loud when they talk. And while I was in China, I first thought of this as people being upset and mad at each other, like something went wrong that day. But actually, it's just their means of communicating and their excitedness with their friends and family. So once you get more proficient in the language, you'll understand kind of what they're talking about and how it's not necessarily negative and they're not mad at each other. So that might take some time, but at first it will seem very alarming. And the third thing is that when you, let's say your friend has taken you out to eat several times, and you have a good relationship with this person, it's time for you to then treat them to dinner or lunch. And they might say, oh no, that's okay, I can treat you again. But actually, they really would appreciate if you would treat them for lunch or dinner. So a lot of the times, Chinese people tend to be very modest, and when they say no, it actually has a connotation of yes. So you don't want to take it as, oh, okay, I don't need to do that, I will do it next time. When they say that, it actually indicates that you should take initiative and help them and treat them for lunch or dinner. So while in the US, when we say certain things, we're very direct and we say what we think. In China, it's more, you kind of have to understand the culture a little bit and what's behind what they mean. So the purpose of this channel is for me to not, introduce the surface of the culture, meaning, Chinese cuisine or the various Chinese, opera and dance, because you might learn that in a textbook or just on a video somewhere or in a movie. I'm here to introduce the deeper culture, meaning how Chinese people think and their personalities and what's kind of behind what you see just in their communication every day. You can understand a little bit better in both a formal and informal setting what Chinese natives actually mean, which will help you better communicate with them. So I think this channel will be really helpful for people who are wanting to travel, work, or study in China. And let's say you're going to meet a Chinese person there, someone who works in a business, and you're not exactly sure how to communicate with them. I would like to provide concrete examples on how this the culture works, and you can better communicate with the natives. And again, both, let's say you're working in a business there in a formal setting, how do you first walk into the room, and do you shake their hand? What should you say? How should you distribute your business cards? And what should you say after the meeting if you're happy with how the meeting went and you would like to then treat them for dinner? What should you say and what should you avoid saying? And also in informal settings, at a restaurant or with your friends, how should you go about communicating with those people in a suitable and familiar way to Chinese natives? So I'm really excited about this channel, and I'm hoping to every week make a video that talks about specific culture points that I think the general American or someone who's not familiar with Chinese culture at all will understand. I'm not here again to introduce Chinese cuisine or just culture that everyone kind of knows about China. I'm really here to provide that culture that is unfamiliar and really will help you while you're in the host country. Thanks.